Victory, I did it. All right, so today I'm going to review the different Travis picking patterns that we've done, the different ideas about it, and then I'm going to show you guys how I like to sit and Travis pick like an interlude or an intro or a little solo, whatever you want to call it, wherever it fits in your song, or maybe you just play and you're not singing and you're just doing whatever you want to think of. We're going to talk about it, and it's going to be good fun. All right. So the main principles that we've talked about so far with Travis picking is that thumb is likely going to be going back and forth between third and fourth string, right? So we've got our outside strings and our inside. Thumb moves. You can do everything with thumb and one finger if you so desire, or thumb and two fingers, whatever works for you, right? Whatever feels right for your hand. Okay, oh, here comes Debbie. There we go. So review again, like if you're going to use two fingers, I would recommend middle finger on the outside string, index finger on the inside string. But thumb is going to be the bouncer, right? There are times when you're going to do like a tiny Travis picking where we use like these three strings and then thumb moves because we're pretending the fourth string doesn't exist. There will be other times when you ignore your first string and maybe you bounce and you've just got a melody happening on string two. Okay? So those things happen, and that's the glory of music, is that there's going to be these variations, right? So let's just start. I'm going to keep my ukulele like this, and I'm probably just going to stare at the ukulele so I don't get thrown off by looking at my hand on the screen. But just do a little bit of this, okay? We're playing the out and then the in. Out, in, out, in. Okay, and now what we're going to do, as we slowly go through all these ideas, we're going to split everything. Okay, so it's going to be out, side, in, side, out, side, in, side. So thumb, in this picking style, thumb goes first. Okay, so what we did the first time with just picking, like pinching together, is to really, we're playing on the beat there, right? Beat 1, 2, 3, 4. If we're splitting everything up and going thumb finger, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm showing you this right off the bat compared to the quarter notes because then you can see like there's no rhythmic change. It's just everything's the same. You're just splitting everything up. And I do a lot of Travis picking like this too, right? So that you don't have that quarter note, the first beat accented. You've just got everything just rolling along all the same. Depends on the song, depends on the style of music you do, right? So then we've got the where you can go like a pinch on the outside. So out, in, side, out, in, side, out, in, side. So out is one pinch, so a quarter note. Then the inside is split. You've got your thumb and then your finger. So if you were counting that, it would be like this. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and. Okay, so just ticking along like that. Now, a lot of what I've been talking about is keeping the left hand static for at least one repetition of a chord pattern. So you're not changing anything. in this hand, the fretting hand. You're just keeping it still while the right hand does all the work. So things that we've done is like playing around with chords of right. So I'm just, all I'm doing there is I played frets 3 and 3 on strings 1 and 2 just to demonstrate, and then I slid up to fret 7 and 7, and then came down to 5 and 5, just as a quick demonstration that as I'm picking, I'm keeping the left hand quite static, right? Like I'm not making it bounce around a lot. Well, today's the day it's going to get a workout. That's what's going to happen. All right, so you might want to have a sip of coffee while we get ourselves ready for this. I was brewing on this on Sunday last week while I was at Boogie the Bridge. I was like, just, these guys got to see this, you know? And this is where I tend to start to bring out more of a melody, because you can absolutely sit with one chord. I'm just going to sit and play a little bit so you can hear this. So one chord per repetition, or maybe for a couple repetitions. So we've got C, F, A minor, back to F, C, okay, Barb's going to sign out and then back in. Okay, we'll wait for you, Barb. It's my camera too, though. There's something, it could be my my computer is kind of overloaded with programs, to be very honest. It needs to have a little housekeeping happening on it. Okay, so in that case, I was just sitting there playing each chord a few times. Okay, and we're going to sit there and do that. Good morning, Debbie. We'll sit there on the C. Out, inside, outside, in, out, inside, outside, in. And remember when I did the in at the end of that, just to, as a review of that too. Out, inside, outside, in with a thumb. So just hanging out. Yeah, let's hit all opens. Out, inside, outside, in, out, inside, outside, in. G7. Out, inside, outside, in, out, inside, outside, in. Back to C. So there we are, we're cycling around with that. So we've had a few different rhythms now, just to review. We've had our quarter note rhythm where we're pinching everything. Pinching the out, in, out, in, doing just quarter notes. Eighth notes where we split everything up. Outside, inside, outside, inside. So everything's broken up equally. And then the different ones, right? So that you've got out, inside, outside, inside, out, inside, outside, inside, or out, inside, outside, in. So you have a chance to think, right? I see my original sound is turned off for some reason. Hang on here. I just want to... Original sound for musicians, it is turned on. Oh, why is it telling me it's turned off? That's strange. All right, well. There we go. Okay, this should be better. Now what we're going to do is we're going to split that pattern. Okay, so we're going to have, I think we'll just start with the C chord. Okay, we're going to go like this. Just starting with quarter notes, we'll have the C as being on, So pinching out and in, and then take it off and do out, in, put it back on, out, in, take it off, out, in. So beats 1 and 2 is with the C, 3 and 4 with it off, back on, and off. Okay, so again, what we're going to do now is we're going to start lifting up a finger halfway through the picking pattern is what's happening. So we did the C, did the pinch on the outside strings, then the in, took it off, and did the pinch again. Okay. Now let me play a little bit of that for you so you can hear it. Let's see. I've got to think of what I was going to play. It gets busy. Hey, this is where you're going to start creating a little bit more of a melody line. Okay? So if you split it and do that. And now it sounds like, what the heck is going on? Right now you've gotten very busy. But what you've done is you split that pattern, 2 beats and 2 beats. That's all you're doing. And we're going to walk through it a little bit with quarter notes. And we're just going to play around with the first string to start. So we're going to have the C chord on, 2 beats, and then take it off for 2 beats. We're going to build from there. 1, 2, finger off, back on, and then off. One more time. Now this is going to be very slow so that you can think about what's going on. Okay, I'm going to do the out, inside, and then off, out, inside. So same picking for each time right now. So with the C chord down, out, inside, take it off, do the same thing. So pinch, inside. Okay, so keeping it the same. So always pinching those outside strings, separating the inside, and just putting that finger on, off. Now we're going to add more. We're going to add that 2nd fret now. Okay, so now what we're going to do, let me play it a little bit so you guys can hear the sound of it. We'll start with quarter notes first so you can get the feel of it, okay? So you're going to have your C chord, and you're going to do the pinch on the outside strings, and then the in, fretting hand, finger off, pinch again, go to the 2nd fret, and then off. Let's do it again. So on that first string, the frets you play are 3, and then open, 2, and then open. So now you got no I'm thinking too hard. Like, okay, demonstrate, Tina. Be good. Okay, and then I lose track of where I am. So I'm going to have another sip of coffee, and then I want to do the fancy picking pattern with it. That's where I really want to go. All right. And I think it just rolls so nice when you do stuff like that. I think it sounds so pretty. But what I did Right? That's what I was waiting to do. My mind was just focused on it. I did out, inside, and then when I lifted, I did outside, inside. So when the fret is down, I pinch, inside, fingers up, I split it all apart. This is how you start to hear melodies really being crafted with this Travis picking. You choose when you're going to change your finger, when you're going to just switch it around, lift a finger up, put a finger down. Okay? So you can do anything you want with that, with any chord you want. It doesn't matter. Like if you're sitting there with a chord progression, all I'm doing, I'm just honestly goofing around from G7 to F. And all I did was put a finger up, put a finger down. I made my G7 in that case, and then lifted up a finger and kept the picking pattern rolling in this hand. That's what I did. So what I'm going to do now, because like the big thing now is thinking about how you can apply this Travis picking pattern, how you can use it in different ways. I mean, it's one thing to have like a set pattern, like a prescription of chords to play, right? But it's another thing to take it and apply it to different songs. So it's good to take a look at them and see, okay, well, what could we do? So I think what I'll do is I'm going to run through this again with the, let's hit that G7 because it adds quite a bit of color. So make your G7 chord and we're going to play. I'm just going slow so you can see what I'm doing. So at G7, I've got everything down, first part of the pattern, and then I lift. And then I just go over to my F, and then I just hang out on that F for a little bit. So I've got... And that, here where I got that lower sound, what I did, I'm going to write out some of these chords here. Right now, before I get too far gone with this. I did my C. Oh no, wait, in that one I did my G7. I really am all about the put the finger down and see what the chord sounds like when you've added another finger, right? Because you don't know, and you're making sus chords is what you're doing quite often, a suspension. You're adding in a note that's not normally there, adds tension, and then eventually you have a resolution where you go back to like the normal chord shape. That would be a resolution. So we had G7, and then we did a G7, I'm going to call it an add 2. Holy my eyes, I'm like, add 2. See, will it show up on the screen there? Oh, see, my camera. Can you guys see that? Oh, it's still so blurry. Nope, I'm staring at the camera and giving it a dirty look right now. I'm like, dirty look, camera. Make your G7 and lift up your ring finger. Just do that. And that, you're adding in the note A, and that is giving you that tension. So I called it a G7 add 2 because if you're counting the G scale. Okay, now my camera's freezing up like crazy on my end. I don't know if it is on your end, but it's like had a fit since I put that paper at the screen. G. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, as long as it's freezing and I'm not like that, probably okay. It froze on my face. The second note of the G scale is an A. That's why I called it a G7 add 2 because I'm adding in G, A. There we go. Okay, so while I'm talking, by all means, play a chord, fiddle with it. Find your favorite chord and play some of that picking pattern. Lift off a finger, put one down, and think about what works for you, what sound you like, okay? And I'm just going to keep writing these chords, and I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'll put it on the website. That's what I'll do. Go, there's my camera. It's kind of fun. La, da, 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 da. These sorts of lessons seem really kind of loosey-goosey, but when you're doing it, it's at this point we're experimenting, right? Seeing and it's personal. It's what you like the sound of versus what another person would. What sort of chord shape do you like? What are your hands comfortable doing too? That's the other thing. But splitting up that pattern, taking it rather than thinking of it as one unit, all the 4 beats, take it so that you've got one thing happening with your picking or your fretting hand on 2 beats, and then changing it to the next 2 beats. That's it's a bit of a game changer. You start having a little bit more freedom with your picking style and what you want to do when you're sitting around at home, right? Just playing. Like, next thing you know, you're writing tunes and you don't even know that you're doing it because you're just busy playing with your chords. It's cool. All right, so I'm just going to take a minute, fiddle with this, put it up on the website. Hopefully I can put it up there. Or can I? I think I might be able to. I'm going to drop right in the chat, just so you guys don't have to worry about me taking forever to do this. What I'm going to do is just drop it in the just in numbers, so like the G7. Oops. As different ideas to play. So when you see that, the first message I'm going to drop in is the 2 different G7 ideas. So the first one in the chat, the numbers are for your regular G7 chord, 0, 2, 1, 2. And the other one, the G7 add 2, I called it. All I've done is I've lifted up my ring finger. So play around with that, and maybe from there you'll want to go to a C chord. Or maybe you'll go to this F. There we go. I wrote another one in the chat. That's the 2 Fs that I was playing around with. When you're moving around a note on a second string, like I did with the F sus2, I was going to call it an add as well. I was like, oh, wait a minute, no, I think that's a suspension there. So what I did was I focused on the 3 strings 2, 3, 4. So when I did that, if you have a low tuned ukulele, you could just pick strings 4, 3, 2, pretend your first string doesn't exist. So I've taken that picking pattern and I've moved it just to a 3-string pattern. Okay, I'm going to wait for my camera to, there we go. So just keeping the index finger on string 2, not even playing string 1 there. Like I know I've written an open there, but depending on what you want to do. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing my regular F, doing all 4 strings, doing the whole shebang. And then when I went to that F sus2, because the business note really is happening on that 2nd string, I decided I was only gonna pick strings 2, 3, 4 to bring it out more. Just like in the past, we'd had that little tiny Travis picking D chord that we did up the fretboard. Same idea. It's a little tiny F chord, but it's instead of strings 1, 2, 3, we're focusing on strings 2, 3, 4. Just try this with me. I know my screen keeps freezing, but make your normal F and pinch strings 2 and 4, and then 2 and 3. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pinky finger onto fret 3 of string 2. And I'm just going to go back and forth playing strings 2 and 4 together and 2 and 3 together. Just so I feel that, and then when I feel ready, I'm going to take off with it. I'm going to do my regular F chord, just with only 3 strings. And then my F with that 3rd fret added. And when I feel ready, I'm going to take that one picking pattern and split it. So I've got my 3rd fret down, and then I lift off and just have my regular F chord shape. And where we can go with this, with that F chord, is now this. I'm going to pick from my 1st string. I'm going to do my regular pattern, and then I'm going to make that F sus2 and pick just from that 2nd string. Now listen to this. What I've done is I've brought out this sound. 1st string open, 3rd fret on the 2nd string, 1st fret on the 2nd string, whoops, and then that string open. Because I've done this, I played my regular F, done a tiny Travis picking pattern that's split on strings 2, 3, 4. And then I went to A minor. Okay, I'm digging that sound. Oh my gosh. I'm writing that out for us. That's what's going to land on the website. So I'm going to write that out. Again, exactly what frets I played. I'll put in X's where I'm not doing that picking, just to make sure you guys are following my train of thought. And this is how I will take a progression that goes over a few bars, that just sits with one chord, and I will create this melody running through it using my Travis picking by putting down a finger or lifting one up as I sit and play that pattern. Okay, so we started with F, the fancy Travis picking pattern. Okay. I did. Whoops. Okay, ignore that message. That was like nothing there. 2010. Then we're going to call it a little split pattern, okay? And that's where I did 203x 2031. Oh, sorry, 201x. I did it. Okay. I'm going to have a sip of coffee while I think about that. Oh, Debbie had some coffee too. Excellent. So this whole idea, it seems a bit abstract, but once you start to let that fretting hand move a little bit while you're doing Travis picking, then you're going to get sounds like Elizabeth Cotton's Freight Train. You can sit and play that on your ukulele like there's no tomorrow. Or you'll just add these little bits when you're playing. All these little colors, these passing tones. A passing tone would be like that third fret that I'm talking about adding to that F chord. That passing tone lets you create a little bit more interest, right? A little bit more of a really fancy schmancy sound, right? What are we looking for with music? Fun. Fun, a little bit of color, right? So I'm going to sit and play that Travis picking pattern just so you can hear it. I'm not going to go fast. I'm just going to repeat it. So I do a full set on the first F chord, and I'm going to do the out, inside, outside, in. And then I'm going to do the tiny Travis picking, splitting it. And then I'm just doing a tiny A minor. That's frets 2, 0, 0. And I played that twice. So I'm really just splitting one of the patterns. I've got my regular F. And then I've got my third fret that I'm playing, going to my first fret, and then 2 bars of regular A minor. Sounds somewhat melancholy. Hey, I like that. It suits the gray clouds, because I guess I'm not going up in the hills and having a campfire I'll get rained on. It's all about playing, right? Fiddling with your chord shapes. What I did there, I did a hammer-on. Now, we've talked about hammer-ons before, but that's something to consider too, okay? That first beat of that picking pattern where I just do a pinch together and I let it ring out for a full beat, that's a good place to do a hammer-on, if you feel so inclined. Hammer-ons are easier, I find, using middle finger on 3rd fret. So let's just try that. Let's go to 2nd fret, or sorry, 2nd string, fret 3. Let's just try that. Okay, so at this point, like we've hit the buffet. We're trying out different stuff. So just tap with that hand. And if you can do that, and you're getting that note sounding okay on that 2nd fret, we're not looking for perfection either. If you can get some sort of sound, awesome. Because then what you're going to do is you're going to do a little, I'm freezing up a lot. Oh, Diane, I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera today. The second string, if you play that open and then do a little hammer on, making sure that when you land, you're good and close to that fret on the tippy toe, then you can do this. You can add that as beat 1. I'm not rushing that hammer-on sound at all. I'm just keeping it nice and relaxed, right? I think the pattern that I'm really going for right now with playing around with Travis picking is have one bar that's just like a regular chord and not splitting anything, followed by a bar that's using that split idea where you play 2 different fretted notes, because that way it's not too busy, not too much to think about right now. So one bar of something consistent that you're used to, one bar of something that's a little bit different. You know, and then it gives you a chance to really, no, sorry. I was just trying to play around a little bit so you could hear how you can really split it up. Melodies, like if you're looking at, let's say you're like, okay, I know what I'm going to do with all this information. I am going to add Travis picking to a melody that I like. And you might be like, well, how am I going to do that? Pick a melody that's primarily each note goes for 2 beats. And then that way, it's an easy way for you to take that Travis picking pattern and split it. That's why that Elizabeth Cotten song, Freight Train, works so nicely, because when you sing it, when you listen to it, you know that each word goes for a couple of beats. So you have time to tuck that Travis picking pattern into there. I'm going to be writing that one out for us. We'll have that to play around with. But I wanted to talk about all these concepts before doing that, because otherwise it becomes a bit much. And again, the idea that I have is I want you guys to be able to play around with these songs, these ideas, and make them your own and add them to your own things, right? See what you like the sound of. See how you want to play, right? And you can Travis pick little blues patterns like there's no tomorrow. Sir. You can have a ball with it. I did that all with just my thumb and my finger. And I used my A chord and D and my E7. That was it. And all I did was I just laid down a finger and lifted one up. That's it. And I just kept my picking hand going because I practiced so much with it that I can just let it go. It's pretty independent at this point. So a challenge for you guys to do would be to pick one of the levels of picking, keep it going, and hold a conversation with someone while you're doing it. That way, that hand is totally independent. So when I say that, like pick the simplest one where you're doing out, in. If you can sit there and go out, in, with whatever chord, doesn't matter, and just talk while you're doing that, then that means that what's going to happen is that hand will keep doing what it's doing, and you can be thinking about other things, and then it's a start. It's a start of being able to really just flow with this picking pattern. And okay, so there's some times in there where I just stay and I keep picking the same 2 sets of strings. And that's not bad. I mean, it's just Travis picking, and you're accenting what you want, but even that is just picking back and forth the outside strings and the inside, and that's it. So keep in mind that when you're doing this sort of stuff, it can be as complex or as simple as you want. It can be what you want it to be, right? So, let's say you're, oh, I don't know, you're with a group somewhere, right? That's always my scenario, right? You're with a group somewhere and everyone else is strumming. Oh, I like my face there. I like how it froze. It's good. Oh, no, I was trying to make a crazy face, but it wouldn't go. You're with a group somewhere and everyone's strumming and you're like, okay, well, how can I Travis pick this? How can I keep this going? Hit the beats. Boom, cha, boom, cha. Start that way. Get yourself warmed up and then start freeing your fingers to do the picks where you're doing your thumb and then your index finger. Okay, so that you're not feeling like you got to do everything at once because it's going to be just too much. Take chord progressions that you're familiar with and make notes on them about where you want to change and add an extra note. So something that would be a good one to do too with Travis picking would be like a what I did there was I went from a C to a C7 within one bar. So I played like a regular bar of C, then I split the next bar, and then off to my F. So thinking about that, creating a little step from one chord to another is a nice thing you can do with that Travis picking as well. So leading yourself from one chord to another with these extra little notes, or creating a melody that you like the sound of, right? Travis picking is so much fun, you guys, and it encompasses so much, and I think we all do it to some degree or another, or songs that use that Travis picking because you see it all over the place. My gosh, I'm just ranting about Travis picking today. I've been waiting to see you guys. I'm like, Travis pick, Travis pick. The only thing that's holding me back right now is that camera, but that's okay. I think I'm watching you guys while you're playing and you seem to have an idea at least about what I'm talking about, like it seems to be going okay. I would encourage you guys to write down a chord progression you like. Actually, do it right now. It's just, we got some time, right? Write down whatever your favorite chord is. Maybe that'll be your first chord, okay? And then choose a finger that you want to lift up off that. So, or put down, right? And it can be anywhere, right? Don't feel limited. Like if you're like, okay, I just love the C chord, but I don't want to change it very much. Well then, you can do a lot of hopping around by taking that C and say adding the first fret, string 2, right? Changes it to a C sus4 because counting C as note number 1, C, D, E, F, that F is 4 notes away. So you could just do that. And what I'm doing there to get that different sound is just going back and forth between spreading the Travis picking over 4 strings versus spreading it over 3 strings. That's it. This is good. I like this. Homework right away. Get your homework going. Nice. Okay. Yeah, right on. So I think that you guys should right now feel like don't worry about any sort of rules. Like, well, can I go from this chord to this chord, or can I lay down this finger? If it sounds good, yeah, absolutely. If your finger can reach it, perfect. If you can't, well, then, maybe choose a different chord if you can't quite reach that note. But other than that, do what experiment, right? Just experiment. Um, Making notes about it all really can make a big difference, right? Because so often I'll play something, I'll be like, oh, that was cool. All right, I'm going to go have a cup of coffee. I'm sure I'll remember everything I did. No, I don't. I never remember. It's already gone. Poof. So when you play something that you like the sound of, write it down so you don't forget. So I want to know if people have any questions or any insights about it, like anything that they've noticed about their playing that they like the sound of, or anything. Like, you can say it, you can put it in the chat, whatever.
Tina, do you ever pick three strings and at the same time,
Yeah.
rather than just two?
Absolutely. Yeah, why not, right? Yeah. That's absolutely excellent question, because I do that. Sometimes what I'll do, because that's just playing around with it even more, right? So I'll take whatever set of strings. So when I think of a string set, I'm either thinking of strings 1, 2, 3, or strings 2, 3, 4. Oh, sometimes 1, 2, 4, I guess. I pick the 3 strings I want to play, and yeah, I'll pluck them together for that first beat, maybe. It's limited by my imagination. That's it. Yeah. So, Dawn, what were you thinking about with the 3 strings? What?
I don't have anything specific in mind. I was just thinking about different patterns and possibilities, whether you can pluck three strings or even four strings.
Absolutely. Sometimes I'll do a strum. I'll just do um sometimes I'll throw in an up strum. Sometimes I'll go between strumming and picking like that. Like, I tried to just kind of whiz through it a little bit. Yeah, absolutely. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Picking combined with strumming is fun. Or plucking a bunch of strings. Nice. Yeah, possibilities. They're endless. You guys are at like the dessert buffet of Travis picking now. It's so nice to make it to the dessert buffet, isn't it? Ah, it tastes so good. Everyone's like checking you guys out on the screen. Oh, Dawn, you're going? Okay. I think I'm going to end this a little bit early. I'm going to write down some notes, put it on the website, and put this video up. I'll just get it up right away, however it is with all of its little frozen screens here. And at the very least, you've got it like a radio show and me making crazy faces. So there you go. If you have, if you have a clip of yourself playing that you want to email me, I have to tell you, I get the emails. Yeah, that's lots to play with now, Kat. It's just like endless now. If you send me a clip of yourself playing, I would love to hear it. I don't always respond because I find these days I'm so swamped with emails. I don't always respond, but man, I listen to everything, just so you know. And if you've got specific songs where you're like, oh, I wonder if I could Travis pick in here or there, let's have a conversation about it, right? And we'll just see where it goes. But like I say, I'm going to write out that what do you call it, freight train for ukulele, and just go for that. Even though it's Star Wars Day, we're going to do Freight Train Day instead. All right, I'm going to stop recording here.